I live here, meaning LA. The only people being violent are the ones with badges that they're covering. People are literally sitting and still being attacked. Yeah, actually one of my relatives lives near there and was telling me that there's just really not anything going on except for a very small area where absolutely it is the law enforcement that is instigating shit and is doing the opposite of de-escalating, right? What they should be doing, what skilled law enforcement should be doing is de-escalating a situation, and instead they're escalating it. And I would like to show you a clip that's gone quite viral that illustrates exactly that. And then I want to also show you some clips of what most of the protesting looks like in Los Angeles right now. As somebody who lives in Portland, Oregon, and was really frustrated at all the disinformation around the protests here in 2020, I had friends and relatives in other states like texting me and calling me being like, are you safe? Are you in a war zone? And I'm like, I live miles from downtown. Like, it was just completely misrepresented. And, you know, Trump was doing a trial run then in 2020. He took what he learned from Portland in 2020 and he's doing it in LA now. And the media once again is carrying water for him, is doing his work for him, trying to portray what's happening in LA as a riot, trying to portray what's happening in LA as some widespread problem when it is a contained protest to a small area downtown. So first, let me show you the ways that, well, just one example of how cops are escalating the situation. There's a whole lot of footage, and most of it, unfortunately, I cannot share on either TikTok or YouTube, or my video will get taken down for violence. But this example, I think I can share safely.
That's okay. I'm gonna pop you right now because you're taking up my focus. What's your badge number?
I'm giving you warning.
No, warning about what? I'm asking you a question. What's gonna hurt? What's gonna hurt?
This 40 millimeters.
Why are you gonna shoot a fucking 40 millimeter to someone 3 feet away who's asking your badge number? What am I doing? Huh? Huh?
All right, thanks.
Huh? Go ahead. What is it? I'm behind glass. What is your name and badge number? You work for us, bitch. What is your badge number?
What is your name and serial
I'm
number?
behind glass. What is your badge
What is
number?
your name and serial number?
Why'd you rip the name off your helmet?
One more time.
What's your badge number?
All right.
Hey, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. What's your badge number?
That's okay. I'm gonna pop you right now because you're taking up my focus.
That's LAPD, by the way, and you notice they're supposed to have their names on their helmet, and he took his off so that people couldn't identify him as easily. I hope that that is investigated, but also this is a good time to remind people that the folks who are paid to be at protests are not incentivized to de-escalate. They are incentivized to escalate. And also, like, that guy looked pretty panicky to me, pretty trigger happy. These are guys who do not know how to handle these situations. I mean, we could say whatever we want about the LAPD, but especially ICE is not trained to handle these situations. They are, you know, a lot of fresh new recruits, a lot of Proud Boys and Oath Keepers who don't have skills and training. They're just the American Gestapo. They're just a bunch of fatal live action role players, right? I said in another video, this is not Mission Impossible. These guys are bumbling stormtroopers, ICE specifically. And also, like, if you're looking at the National Guard, I know that they are not engaging in things like that. The National Guard, those are the, you know, civilian soldiers, right? Citizen soldiers. Those are folks who expected to serve California, helping in the wake of natural disasters. They didn't expect to have to be doing this. But that's really an outlier, right? The only places where we are really seeing any kind of violence are from law enforcement directed at Californians, directed at citizens exercising their First Amendment protected rights. Overwhelmingly, the other places in LA that are having protests, and even close to that location, it's incredibly peaceful. And so I would like to discount the false notion that Fox News is putting forward. I would like to counter the disinformation that you're seeing with some posts that were put up on Instagram today from several different accounts where people are just filming or live streaming what's happening where they are protesting. This is a much more accurate depiction of what it looks like in Los Angeles.
Peaceful witness. We can resist unjust authority without lifting a hand against our neighbor. These federal troops coming to Los Angeles, God, you know the mayor had it under control. But it's not the soldiers and Marines' fault. They're not our enemies. It wasn't their idea. These are brave United States volunteers. But some people have a problem with LA. So by your grace, Heavenly Father, we're not going to give them their narrative of violence. And we beseech you to still the hand of anyone tempted to use violence against anyone who protests peacefully. God of mercy, we're also going to tell the story about our neighbors who were undocumented workers. Our friends being taken from their places of honest labor, ripped from the arms of their families and their churches. 13 million of them nationwide, paying their taxes, caring for those they love, part of the foundation of the United States economy.
Our country, defend our Constitution! Our country, defend our Constitution!
I'm in downtown LA, and a massive rebellion that you can see happening here. Just so much insurrection energy. Oh, look, it's Mike De La Rocha. Are you rioting, sir?
I'm looting.
Are you preventing the enforcement of U.S. law right now, sir?
I am doing all that and more. I'm the criminal.
We found one. Utterly ridiculous.
So people playing music, people dancing, people praying, people assembling peacefully, and like people just walking around in downtown LA where nothing is happening. That's a much more accurate depiction of what's going on. The Trump regime is trying to make it sound like there is an active rebellion against the United States that is happening in Los Angeles. Why are they trying to do that? Because in order for Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act, there has to be a rebellion taking place. There is no rebellion. That is not what is happening. The governor has said that's not true. The mayor has said that's not true. The LAPD has said that's not true. In fact, all three of those have said this is a very well-contained small protest. They don't need any interference from the federal government whatsoever. And the federal government is only serving to exacerbate the situation, escalate the violence, increase the problem, right? Like, it's really important to remember that the Trump regime is trying to create a scenario. They are manufacturing a crisis so that they can then justify stepping in to fix it, right? This is what authoritarians do. They try to create a problem where there wasn't one so that they can justify pulling back your rights, so that they can justify taking more and more from you. This is a problem of Trump's making for that very small area. Hang on a second. This is Los Angeles. That little red circle is where the protests are taking place, okay? Please understand, there is no rebellion in LA. There's nothing going on in 99.9% of Los Angeles. And in the small part in that red circle, the cops say they have it under control. Cops say they don't want the National Guard there. They don't want ICE there. They do not want the Marines there. And they are not needed. Now, are we seeing excessive use of force by the LAPD? Yeah, but that's how the LAPD does. But overwhelmingly, in the places where there are protests, it's very, very peaceful. It is people who are exercising their constitutional rights. Protest in America is as American as apple pie. It is a right we have had. It is the foundation of this nation. For Trump to say that what is happening in Los Angeles is un-American is absolutely not true. Protest is the most American thing ever. I just don't want folks to believe the disinformation, active disinformation that this regime is spreading. I don't want folks to believe the way the media is spinning it. Listen to the folks who are in LA. Listen to what the governor is saying. Listen to what the mayor is saying. This is a crisis that Donald Trump has manufactured. In fact, most of it is entirely fictional. It's not a crisis at all. Don't believe the propaganda that you hear. Don't believe the disinformation of the regime or corporate media. This is a really crucial moment in our history. Trump is trying to take over California. Kristi Noem said today that they intended to use the military to liberate California from the governor and the mayor, duly elected officials. That is straight up authoritarianism. Using the military to come and do a takeover in California. Why? Because it's a massive economy. Because if they can intimidate Californians, if they can take over Californians, then the other states are going to say, well, shit, if California couldn't stand, then maybe we can't. First of all, yes, we can. But second of all, California is going to stand. California is not going to buckle under this. California is already demonstrating that they are not in any way going to let Trump and the fascists win. Gavin Newsom is holding the line. Californians are making all Americans proud right now.